Welcome and thank you for tuning into the Home and Finance Show. I'm Diana Rice-Wilkerson, lender with Fairway Independent Mortgage, and joining me is my co-host.
I'm Janis Bradley, broker owner of JB Real Estate Consultants.
And we are your seasoned, trusted advisors committed to personally navigating you through the home buying and selling and lending process. This show is designed to provide you with current and relevant information about all aspects of home buying, selling, lending, renovating, and all of that in between, so that you are knowledgeable when it comes to making decisions for you and your family. You can also hear us on Saturdays on Praise AM 1310 and 95.1 FM. That said, if you're in the market to buy, build, or refinance, we'd love to represent you. You may reach us at the contact information below. Now on with the show. What's shaking, Janis Bradley?
Real estate. How about that?
Hey,
real
that's a
estate.
great answer.
Morning, noon, and night. Great market, a little different, but but that's why we have this guest with us today.
Yes,
It's going to
yes.
even help us with this particular market because, it's something new every single day. And this young man is going to help us and help you on the show to find out a little bit more about what to do, whether you're an existing home or new home buying. Correct, Adam?
Yes.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better.
And viewers, I just would like to introduce you to Adam, who has been on the show before, and maybe you caught the first segment. But this segment also, we're going to continue to have him on because we're talking about renovating, and he is the king of renovation with Fairway Independent Mortgage. He's our business development manager, and he is awesome at what he does. And so we know in today's market, there's a lot going on in real estate. The area that we are talking about today is going to be that of renovating, upgrading, remodeling, and things of that nature. And Adam's going to talk to us about just things that we can do, the different programs that are out there, and we want to leave you with a lot more information than what you had before you started. Welcome, Adam, to the Home and Finance Show.
Well, thank you for having me back again. I'm really excited. I woke up this morning and I was just thinking about, after we're all done, putting myself in the shoes of any of your listeners that are listening it now or listen to it later, and how excited I would be if I was them, just about the opportunity to learn about something that maybe they didn't know existed and that could absolutely help them attain that goal of home ownership, when maybe they just thought that it wasn't possible because of just the current state of the real estate market right now throughout the country, to be honest with you. So
Yep. And so we do know that there are different programs that can be used when it comes to renovation. And so viewers and listeners, what we are hoping to do is have Adam on for several months going forward, just kind of educating us. This is a new area that I think people are thinking about that in the past they have not thought about it. And I am proud to say, and I know that Adam would agree, that Fairway is excellent at doing this. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to you, Adam, so that you can tell us about, the products that you want to talk with us about today.
yeah, sure, absolutely. And feel free. We like to say at Fairway that we like to blurt. So if you have any questions as I'm talking about a topic, just feel free to jump in there. So, I think the last time I was on the show, I talked a little bit about, putting myself in the shoes of either the buyer who's looking to purchase a home, a current homeowner who has already purchased a home and who's living there.
Yes.
And the agents, maybe I'm representing the seller and I'm listing the home, or maybe I'm representing the buyer and I'm going to bring them. So when I put myself in those shoes right there, and then what I'm going to talk about now, it seems that I'm more of an ambassador, to be honest with you, in terms of education and awareness. So can you imagine all those folks out there that they're looking for a home and there's not a lot of inventory on the market, and they finally find that home that checks all the boxes. It's got the yard they want. It's by work, family and friends and everything like that. But unfortunately, it needs a little bit of love. And the way that you interpret love could mean a whole bunch of different things, right? And I think I may have touched on this before. I really don't like using the word fixer-upper. Yeah. Love to me might be a brand new kitchen if you like to cook. It might be a big dining room if you like to entertain. It might be that second bathroom so that everyone's not sharing that one bathroom, with the husband, the wife, the kids, and who else knows. So can you imagine if you were able to buy a home, or if you were already a homeowner and you were able to borrow money and go ahead and make all those upgrades or breathe new life into the property all at the same time? So I may have talked about this before, but it's really important because we want to start at the very beginning. You could buy a home and not only borrow money to buy the home, but to also finance those upgrades. And we just put those numbers together and you're doing both at the same time. If you're already, So, go ahead.
Adam, I had to, when you were talking about the bathroom, okay?
Yes.
It made me think about when I was growing up. It was 6 kids and my mom and dad, 8 people. And there was one full bathroom, and then there was only a toilet in the basement, of course, right? And my dad he gave up. It was 4 girls, you know what I'm saying, and my mom, and he gave up. And I was just thinking how he would have loved to have been able to add a second bathroom, right? We probably would have never seen him just to have his space, And then I remember us also in line taking turns, just waiting for somebody to pop out so we could pop in, because we were scared to go in the basement. So you got to understand that. So just little things like that can make a big difference in your comfort in your house.
It's so funny you say that because renovation loans can actually, like I use the word solution.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what it will do to somebody's life? And I mean this with all due respect, just by having a second bathroom.
Absolutely.
I mean, so I don't know if I said this last time when we met, but so I'm a triplet and I have 2 sisters.
Whoa.
And I had to share a bathroom with them. And let's just say that, when you go to the deli and you get the ticket, and it says now serving.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't like I was 3, because my sisters got a second and a third chance to go in there and finish up something that they may not have done.
Right.
But anyway, so I'm glad you brought that up, because can you imagine if somebody is looking at a home and it's just got 1 bathroom, and they were like, if this house had a second bathroom, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
Why not finance the cost of it into the mortgage? And now all of a sudden, the kids are going to get ready for school faster. There's not going to be bickering. You're not going to have a stupid argument that just is because you're frustrated because now you're running out of time. And it's, just little things like that
Yes.
happen all the time. So I'm not trying to say adding a bathroom is going to be world peace or anything like that.
I think it could be.
I think it could be too.
It could.
me
It'll help. So anyway,
you just gave me a
for your
great
listeners-
idea. I'm currently working with a young lady, and of course, everybody's got to stay in a township or the school system and things of this nature. And she does have 3 children, and I can't tell you how many times when I'm searching that I think, oh, this is the perfect opportunity, but it's 1 bath. But I can now even just anticipate, knowing that the type of loan we're talking about, hey, we're already going to, what's the word I want to say, as the solution.
Yeah.
Because there are so many homes that they could be 1,300 square feet, 3 bedrooms, a den possibly, whatever, but missing that other bath area. So you've just helped me with another suggestion. They might actually like me. They might actually sell from me with that.
Well,
yeah.
Again, it's like, I don't mean to, to belittle the point, but think about a master suite, a master bedroom oasis, so you take that 1 bathroom and that ends up being like the kids' bathroom. And then if you can add that bathroom to your master bedroom, now you've just created a master bedroom oasis. You have the privacy, you're not sharing anymore. It's just like, and I understand how things go. When I bought my first house with my wife, we had 1 bathroom, and it's just a lifestyle thing. So anyway, but I don't mean to take up all of our time talking about bathrooms or anything like that, but you could see just how something really small could make such a big difference for somebody who is looking at a home where they need that second bathroom because they have a large family. Or what about a current homeowner right now that bought the home. And then we see this happen all the time. Young couples, they decide to have a family. So now all of a sudden they absolutely need that second bedroom, second bathroom, whatever it is, and they don't know that they could do it. So it does not matter if you're buying a home or if you're already a current homeowner. And that's why it's so important to speak to a lender. And I know Diana can say this. A lot of homeowners are going to say, well, God, I don't have that $20,000 or $30,000 in my checking account, and I sure as heck don't want to use credit cards to do this. God, if there was just a way where I had the money to do this, it would just be a game changer.
Yes.
And then here comes Diana going, well,
yes.
I'm glad you asked.
I'm glad you asked.
glad you
Exactly.
You can do this.
And you're having your cake and eat it too, because it's also equity. It's added to the value of your home.
Absolutely. And that's another thing. So in addition to the solution and the lifestyle, all you're going to do is really increase the value of your home by now all of a sudden adding that additional bathroom and the arguments and stuff like that are going to dissipate. So speaking to a lender is so important, because it's just going to change the perspective of a buyer or a current homeowner when they realize there's options and there's opportunities for them to do things that they just didn't know existed. And so, we could talk about all the really cool things you could do, but just understanding, some of the things that you can do in the first place
Yes.
are so important, and just kind of like continuing to tell the story. There's all sorts of different renovation loan products that can kind of get you to the finish line. So there's really kind of two main streets you can go down, and Diana can tell you when you're looking for a home, or if you're already there and you know what you're pre-qualified for. So I know what I can afford. We already know which path you're going to go down when the lender is looking at your credit. So that way, oh, I can actually just put in a whole new bathroom from scratch, or I can go ahead and remodel my entire bathroom. My wife and I are currently doing that right now, where we're taking out like the vanity, we're extending it, we're putting 2 sinks in there. This is for my kids.
Yeah.
We're redoing the shower. I'm sorry, I said I was going to stop talking about the bathroom, but here I go again.
But somehow that bath area keeps coming up.
Yeah. So that's a very common vanilla upgrade or repair or whatever it may be. So it's just really a fantastic thing to use any of these renovation loan products. Viewers out there, and I see this all the time, the words remodel, renovate, and rehab, the way that people interpret it might be different things, but they all are the same thing.
Right.
But if somebody is knocking down walls and adding a second story, maybe they think, oh, it's a big project, so I need to use the word rehab.
Rehab.
And if I'm not adding any square footage and I'm just updating everything, maybe I feel like I need to use the word renovate. It doesn't matter. It's all the same
You're doing
thing.
something to the house some kind of way, right?
Question.
Yeah. So it's like it all gets you to the same place. But again, it just goes to kind of show you that the first thing that we really want to do is we want to listen. We want to listen as the lender. So if it were me and I was talking to any of your viewers out here, and it doesn't matter if they're a buyer or an existing homeowner, I would listen to them. Hey, tell me a little bit about your proposed project and what you're looking to do. And people get excited because projects are really cool, because I know when everything is all said and done, what it's going to do for my life. Oh my gosh, my wife and I bought this house, and there was this, and over the years, you got to listen to the whole story, of course, right?
Right.
Here's what we want to do. Oh, that's fantastic. So now as the lender, I'm getting a picture and I'm putting together a story. And my next question is probably going to be, oh, great. How much do you think it's going to cost? And have you had an opportunity to maybe talk to someone who you're going to hire for this job? And then that way you can kind of start to put the numbers together, because I'll be honest with you, we talk to a lot of homeowners who say, well, I went and I spoke to a contractor, and in my eyes and in my ears, I was thinking it was going to cost $20,000. But when I talked to the contractor, boy, I didn't realize with inflation and the cost of materials and labor that it's 40,000.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't have the money to do it. So guess what? I have to put my dreams on hold. Whereas, wait a second, stop everybody. It's okay if you don't have the money because we're going to finance it. So instead of having that big lump sum of money that most folks just don't have, you can go ahead and get a loan and amortize that payment and spread it out over 30 years, which takes you from a no to a, oh my God, I can't believe we're doing this. So,
Adam, this is my question to you, because a lot of folks today are looking to, ideally, they have outgrown their home and they would like to sell it and buy a larger home. And we know that, inventory is kind of limited.
Yes.
So my question is, can you take a renovation loan and finish a basement? Because that could be space right now in a home that is underutilized, but finished, it possibly could accommodate what the family's trying to do.
Good idea.
And then another thing, there's two other things that I think people are liking a lot. One is the all-weather rooms, the Florida rooms, the sun rooms. And then the third is the outdoor space, like what they're doing with landscaping and extending the deck and covering it, and just wonderful things. Can all of those situations are they allowed using the renovation?
Absolutely, and I love the way that you presented that, because there's so many things that you can do with a renovation loan again, whereas there might be homeowners or buyers who think, oh, I need to knock down this house and rebuild it because that's what a renovation loan is for. So I'll kind of go backwards. The backyard landscaping is, can you imagine, especially with COVID, over the past couple of years, people were stuck in their homes and they turned their home into a staycation. So what if you were able to tell an existing buyer or an existing homeowner that you can go ahead and build that backyard in-ground pool with an outdoor kitchen and a gazebo and whatever it may be, or you just want to build a beautiful deck and no pool? Those are all things that you can do with the conventional renovation loans. So again, it's probably something that a buyer or a homeowner doesn't think of right now, because they're not thinking about, well, rehab and remodel and knocking down. The Four Seasons room, we love doing those. That's absolutely able to be financed. We do tons of them. And then, minor, cosmetic. There's all sorts of different paths that you can go down, depending on what your project is, because as we like to say, no two projects are going to be alike. And we've seen all sorts of things. We've seen people build these accessory dwelling units in their backyards that they want to use and rent out to help them pay their mortgage. So maybe for Janis, you have a homeowner that says, well, I'm looking for an investment property, but I just can't find one. Wow, I have a really nice piece of dirt and I'm going to build something in my backyard with all the intent and purposes to rent out. And I'm going to take the income from that and I'm going to use it to help pay down my mortgage. How great is that? Or what if you want to use it for multi-generational housing, grandma and grandpa, or maybe you want to age in place? We were talking about solutions earlier. Yes. Can you imagine if, you have parents that are aging and you don't want to have to move them anywhere, and you want to have them stay, but you need to have a caretaker come and basically live in the house, but there's nowhere to put them. You can have an accessory dwelling unit that gives the caretaker their own little space, whatever it may be. Maybe it's a 500 square foot studio, maybe it's a 1-bedroom. And that way they have their own place. They can take care of mom and dad. Or my son is a junior in college. When he comes home, I don't know if he's going to want to move back into his bedroom. He may want to have his own space in the back. So these accessory dwelling units are just a great way to provide answers.
Absolutely.
Help you.
Absolutely. Yes, and Diana kind of mentioned it, but as we know that the inventory is pretty low right now. So I say that though to say is that, I've had people who share with me, you know what, I really think I would like to move, but where am I going to go? Because of the limited inventory. However, 9 times out of 10, they already love where they live, okay? And then because of depending on the age of the children for schools, that's going to be absolutely perfect. But the very fact that they can stay in place and go ahead and just make the kind of changes that they would just be absolutely wonderful. And I'm sure some of that had to have happened in the last couple of years because people really, they knew they had the equity. But the number one question with me, where am I going to go? So we kind of get that. And I love the fact that you brought up too the fact with seniors definitely having to move in with their children or what have you, and have their own area. And of course, that's going to come equipped with larger the basins and everything for the bathrooms, archways. Making sure that the wheelchairs can absolutely go through. I mean, it's just you name it. It's a pleather. No doubt about it.
Yeah, yeah, and so I didn't want to forget to touch on the basement. So
yeah.
We see projects a lot where, again, the way that you interpret basement, maybe it's low ceiling, it's dark, there's no walkout, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe the ceiling is a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a walkout. But, and me personally, I would, if I had the opportunity, because there's not a whole lot of basements where I'm at here in California, but my gosh, if I could take a basement and make a living space and then a bedroom and a bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, kids go downstairs there. It's a multi-purpose room. It's just, it's an answer, and it may sound like it's small, but Janice, if you're showing somebody a home and you have an unfinished basement, instead of looking at it like, oh my gosh, there's so many really, really great things I would do, but I don't have the money. Now, all of a sudden it's, wow, okay, I know that I have the money to do it. And instead of the cash register ringing, of all the things that I want to do that I don't have the money for, it's the complete opposite. I'm thinking about all those really cool things I can do. And in the real estate business, we always say you need to have a vision. You need to have a vision. Well,
sure.
In order to have a vision, you have to have money, because you can have the vision all day long, but it won't really come to fruition. So, and again, it's just that again, so many things, like we've been sitting there, and it may be an attic or a basement.
Yes.
And for years, we've just wanted to do it, but, something always comes up, right? Kids moving to college, whatever, and we just don't have the money to do it. Why not present an option to a client that says, I know you've been living in this home for years, or I know that you're looking for a home in a specific location, and now what do you think about kind of, doing something like this?
Okay.
And it just gets people, it's just awareness, so.
The last time, I think Diana and I talked about the fact that we didn't get to talk about the VA renovations. So do you want to take a minute with that?
Yeah, so picture this. VA loans are literally the best kept secret. Because you don't have to bring in a down payment. You're going to finance 100% of the purchase.
Okay.
What if I told you that in addition to just a regular VA loan, there was a sibling? It was a VA renovation loan where you could finance 100% of the purchase. And in addition to that, you were able to finance another $50,000 in upgrades into the loan. So now you're not knocking down walls or anything like that. It's non-structural, cosmetic repairs. But can you imagine if you were a buyer or if you were an existing homeowner,
okay,
and you had $50,000 to play with?
I love it. And you still have 100% financing. So you're financing the total cost of the project. That's the purchase price and the renovation. That's fantastic.
I really wanted to hit on that because Diana did say that there's something to that we want to make sure the listening audience knows about, and the vets especially.
And Adam, we have only a couple of minutes left, but can you really quickly talk about HELOCs being an option, maybe why they may be a good option and sometimes maybe not?
Yeah, so everything basically kind of comes down to the value of your property standing there today in its current condition, and then how much you currently owe on the property. Because most people, when they're thinking about doing some sort of project, they are going to come to a lender like you, Diana, and they're going to say, I want to redo whatever it is, and it's going to cost me $50,000, and I want to take cash out. A lot of times, the buyers don't have, and I'm talking about an existing homeowner, they don't have enough equity just because of the way the numbers work. And I won't get into the specifics, but long story short, because of the current value of the home standing there today, and because of what they owe on their current mortgage, they can't get that money for whatever reason, the guidelines and all that. So if it does work out, an equity line could be a great option for them. But if they don't have that equity, renovation loans aren't concerned about the value of your home standing there today.
That's
so
interesting.
To the point, and I guess I'll kind of bring it full circle with a bathroom. Your 3-bedroom, 1-bath home is going to be worth X. If you were to add that second bathroom, now all of a sudden the value is probably going to go up a little bit. So renovation loans use the future value of the home, whereas an equity line is just looking at your home standing there today. So for those people who don't have enough of the spread and the equity, a lot of times they go, well, we can't do this. Whereas a renovation loan basically removes the barrier and allows them to use that. So that is very, very, very common where we see homeowners talk to lenders, want to get cash, and then they are given the answer, I'm really sorry, but you don't have enough equity. And they're thinking like, well, I don't really know what that means. My home is worth $300,000,
Right.
and I owe $240. Hey, I have $60,000 in equity there. Give it to me. But they don't
Excellent.
understand that
Right.
some lenders and banks aren't going to give you every
of it.
dollar you have. So, and I'm really glad you said that, because there's other options for folks that want to rehab or remodel and renovate. You can use personal loans,
We're
but
probably going to need to
you're not going to
kind of,
refinance, and
Adam,
the interest rates are.
we're probably going to need to wrap it up. We got about
Okay.
10
And see, and
seconds.
that's why we have to keep having you on the show.
Next month, absolutely.
Next month.
Thank you, Adam. We appreciate you joining us today. You have a good one.
Yeah,
There's food for thought.
Thanks for having me
Have
again.
a great one.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.